Hello, I'm Larry Lee with Brownfield Ag News. Paul Mitchell is an ag economist with the University of Wisconsin-Madison joining us today. ARC and PLC programs. Already time to start thinking about 2021 and what to sign up for, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it kind of caught me by surprise, but yeah, these things are on long cycles and it's time to start looking for the 2021 crop year. Sign up is open now. We have plenty of time yet. We have until March 15th of 2021. But yeah, you can sign up now if you want.
So for those that are already thinking about it, are there some changes in the program that producers need to know about?
Not really, except it's not for 2 years. It's just for 1 year. Before it was for the 2019 and 2020 crop. And so you had to be, even before that, it was 5 years. Now it's each year it'll be an annual choice. And so you just need to look at what you think is going to happen for the 2021 crop, what you want to do, ARC or PLC.
I understand that USDA just had a deadline pass the end of September as far as making some changes to their pricing. Do you think a lot of people went in and did that?
I think it was their acres, their yields. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
yeah, I think a lot of people did. I hope they did. They should have gone in and updated your yields. But if it's pricing, I missed that one. But there's a lot going on right now.
no doubt it was yields. Yes, you're right on that.
Yeah, hopefully everyone went in and updated their PLC payment yields. That's an important thing. It doesn't happen as often as you would like, and they get a little out of whack. And particularly this time around on soybeans, the yields will determine whether are heavily influenced, which is better for you, ARC or PLC.
How so?
Well, PLC is only a price floor, and ARC depends upon the county yields as well. And so in PLC, it pays you based off of those PLC yields. And so the higher those yields are, it makes PLC a better program for you relative to ARC. And so if you have yields are going up, it tends to make PLC a better program. And so if lower yielding farmers on soybean anyway, ARC might be a better choice.
There are some tools out there that I know you've worked with, and you've already started to look ahead to the 2021 season and made some determinations as to which program is better in certain scenarios. What have you found?
Well, in general, if my first advice to farmers is no rush. You have until March 15th. You don't need to, you can make a choice now and change your mind later. There's the dairy margin coverage. There's the CFAP2, if you haven't done that yet. There's a lot going on. My first advice is just be patient and wait till after the first of the year. There's no reason to rush in and make your choices about the 2021 marketing year, which is a long ways away. But if you have to make a choice or you feel compelled to do it, PLC still looks good for corn. For wheat, PLC looks good as well because the price floor is so high. Even under really optimistic price expectations for wheat, PLC still looks like a good deal. Oats looks like ARC because the prices are for a few people with oat acres. Soybean is, you got to use the tool. It depends so much on what county you're in and what your payment yields are for PLC. The higher your yields are, tends to make PLC better, but depends on the county because some counties have their county average yield. It varies a lot as well. So that's the one where you got to use that tool from the University of Illinois on their Farm Doc page.
It sounds like if the farmers go in and make some decisions now or even in January or February, there's still an opportunity to change those decisions prior to that cutoff. Is that right?
Yeah, that's my understanding. But then, I mean, FSA is busy doing all these MFP, CFAP2, and dairy margin coverage. Give them a little break. If you know you're going to change your mind, maybe just wait and just let them do it. But the other one is just a lot of market uncertainty about the 2021 markets that you might want to wait anyway and see what the 2021 crop prices are going to look like to make some decisions. You know, we've seen obviously coronavirus, the COVID pandemic has really thrown prices around for a while there. Who knows what's coming anymore? I think we've all learned that lesson that a lot of things can happen between now and middle of February.
So as far as ARC and PLC, it's not going to hurt to wait a little while, is it?
No, that's my feeling. And be patient, but eventually make a choice. And PLC looks good for everything. Soybeans, though, you're going to have to do a little work, I think.
You touched on market prices. We've seen a few things come up recently, even corn. What's that looking like on your side there?
Like I said, these markets evolve. It has to do with trade. China's jumping in and out of the market. Buying corn, all of a sudden buying soybeans. Brazil is importing soybeans now, I guess, because I saw the headline. I couldn't believe it. But they've got so much sales that they don't have enough soybeans anymore inside the country. And so there's just so much market uncertainty. That's, to me, is one of the advantages of waiting until after the first of the year to get a better idea what the 2021 market's going to look like. The only other advantage is in February, the USDA puts out their long-range price forecasts for the next 10 years. You think guessing the price for 2021, imagine guessing the price for 2029 or something like that. There's a large error bar around them. But they will have their long-range forecasts in February for which will be the first predictor we'll see from a public agency about the 2021 market price or cash price for farmers on corn, beans, oats, and wheat and things like that.
This year, we've heard some stories about more farmers building bins on the farm for storage. Is that a good idea?
It's a long-term investment, and you have to think about these things. I think my understanding, we were getting some good yields, and the prices have been creeping up here on getting very optimistic in prices. Wisconsin's probably had some of the best corn in terms of the quality of the grain this year, and even the beans. We lost a little in the drought that got sort of, well, I won't call it drought, but after living in Texas, we don't have droughts. We have dry weather. It looks good. There's got decent yields out there, and our crop is looking good. So good prices, good yields, and then we've had a large influx of these payments from even some of the MFP payments, CFAP2. I think farmers are sitting on some cash, some of them in the state, and they do need to think about these as investments. And a grain bin, if you think you can pencil it out that is valuable to you, that will make you a return on your investment, reduce your storage costs, improve your quality of your grain, allow you to market better, then maybe it is a good investment. But it depends. I wouldn't just buy a bin because you feel like it.
Could that also tie into another headline I've seen recently, and that's that we may have trouble getting some rail cars for moving some grain? If we're having trouble moving the grain in the market, maybe storing it ourselves is a better option.
Well, that's exactly, and maybe that's the way to think of it, as a risk management strategy, as a way, because early on in my career, when we had the big hurricane hit in New Orleans and the price of grain hit really low on the river. You couldn't sell grain in the fall. It was just ridiculous. And if you need to sell grain, you need cash then, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to take $2 a bushel because I need some cash. This is my only way to get cash. If you could store it and make it through some of these situations, that maybe is a better deal. Think of it as a risk management strategy. But you'll have to pencil it out. How many times in 10 years does it have to happen? And how many cents does it get you an extra price by being able to wait? You'll have to pencil that out and see if you're willing to pay the cost of the grain bin relative to your estimate of the risk benefit you'd get out of it.
Let's change topics again. This has been a year of unusual government payments like CFAP2, some of the other programs that are out there. Farm income is probably going to be up this year, a lot of it because of the farm programs. Any advice for the farmers as far as managing those dollars, as far as managing tax time?
Yeah, actually, it is an issue. Some people are going to find themselves in a higher tax bracket on that upper extra income if they don't find something to do with it. My advice is not to get so worried about taxes you forget to think. Taxes are a cost of life. You've heard the Ben Franklin quote. We all have to die and pay taxes. That's just no way around that one. And so I would look for investments with that money you have, if you have any, that are long term. They're going to pay off. I can save some money in taxes. So if I buy some machinery and use Section 179 or something like that, but is that really what you want to do? Because you're going to be paying that depreciation cost of that machinery. That's like a tax, if you want to think of it that way. And so that isn't always a no-brainer. There's a lot of people running around with a lot of debt that might be smart to pay off. That's a direct, and it gets you out from underneath some of those debt payments. It'd be nice to zero out your revolving line of credit or something like that. That might be a better deal than worrying about paying taxes. And there's other things, like we just talked about the grain bin situation. Is that a way as a risk management tool? Are there certain building facilities you want to improve? You just go down the list. I really would say think about it as a long-term investment opportunity. What is the best investment for your operation to improve your long-run profitability, keep your costs down, or protect you from adverse events?
Let's look out to early next year, the Agricultural Outlook Forum. A little early to ask, but I'll ask anyway. Any idea what the topics might be?
Well, it's going to be virtual. We pretty much committed to that now. It's the university, it's on campus again, and they've locked us in on that one. They're not going to, I just don't see anything. We got a plan, so it's going to be virtual. And from talking to people who've done virtual events, you can't do a 6-hour event. That just is not. So we might do it over 2 days, but the mainstay of the forum is going to be an outlook, situation outlook for our major commodities in the states of dairy, beef, corn and beans, some of the specialty crops, what's been going on there. And then and with that, focusing in on what happened with COVID and where's it going. That's going to be the focus. And it might stretch a little long, but that's what the heck is going on is what it's going to be on. We've seen some pretty unique things happen this year with all the different events happening.
You mentioned campus pretty well locked down. Anything new on campus we should know about?
Well, we're hoping to get permission to hire for the Dairy Innovation Hub. That's a big one. The first 4 positions there are sitting, waiting for the provost and the dean of the college are going to have a chat here pretty quick to finalize releasing the funds. The legislature, my understanding, is supporting it. It'd be great. We need to reinvest at the university in dairy. And I hope we have one in our department. I would love to be hiring a dairy economist right now.
I have heard that Dairy Innovation Hub funding might be on the block when it comes time for the budget repair bill, but so far legislators aren't talking about it. What have you heard?
I've heard nothing like that, and that's the concern. We are in some uncertain budgetary times, and that's why the people like the provost and the deans have to make these decisions or guessing about, because once you commit to hiring somebody, you got to pay them, and unless it gets really bad. So that would be tough. If we don't get those positions, our department, we're going to need some reinvestment. We have no faculty that are a dairy economists, first and foremost. I have a colleague, Mark Stevenson. He's officially academic staff, and we've just had our dairy economists retire. And it's getting pretty thin on campus and faculty, and so we've had resignations and retirements are pending coming up here. So we'll get some positions, but it'd be nice to get, more is always better, of course. But I understand this money comes from people's lives. They're paying for this out of their taxes.
Any topics we haven't hit yet today?
No, I can't think of anything. I've been thinking about what I've been working on. And no, I think, like I said, I've been surprised at how our corn in the state and had as much in good to excellent conditions as any. We led the nation in corn in good to excellent condition. And so, and we've had a lot of money pour in on those programs. And so I think a lot of dairy farms especially are going to be sitting on some cash that they received from government payments. And I would recommend they think wisely about a long-term investment to improve their profitability, not just to go buy machinery because it'll be to avoid taxes or reduce taxes.
Ag economist Paul Mitchell with the University of Wisconsin joining us today. Thank you.
You're welcome, Larry.